So I hope that you will all stay after service next week for that. It's your community. We'd love to hear from you. We've got another amazing class coming up really quickly. It's going to start February 2nd until March 2nd. That's coming right up. Presented by Reverend Doctors Bill and Cher Holton. It is a universal prosperity class. This is going to be amazing. The fee is $20 per class. All the information that you need to register is on our website. You can see the link there. So please go do take a look at that. And this is going to be the last Sunday you're going to see this PDF displayed during our service. That's going to allow us to see each other and our speakers, our wonderful speakers through the entire service. So I want to encourage everybody to go to our website where you can find the lyrics and all of our prayers so you could print and follow along, or just follow along on your phone or tablet, whatever you want to use. We are looking for a chat master, somebody who would be willing to paste the lyrics into the chat box. So please let us know if you'd like to volunteer for this important role. And I would like to invite Reverend Carolyn forward with another announcement.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much, Heather. Because we are a transparent community, and because it's important that everybody knows exactly where we're at in terms of our finances, we need to let you know that it has been challenging lately for us to meet payroll, and that we've had to take money from savings in order to do this. Since August, the hard fact is that donations have been down about $800 a month, and that's significant. We have been able to get together money through our book studies, through our classes, but still we are finding it challenging. We never like to bring bad news to you. We just want to bring what is so. We know that spiritually, we are infinite prosperity, which is why I think this class on prosperity is so timely. So we trust that we have all that we need in order to supply our community with all the lifeblood, all the energy, and all the financial support it needs to continue. I feel you praying that prayer with me. Let's see if we can make it real. Thank you. And we'll talk about this more at our community meeting. So we want to show you what these numbers look like on the page, but please stay for our community meeting and we'll do that for you. Thank you. I am complete.
Thank you, Reverend Carolyn, for bringing that in. I also want to mention today that our prayer chaplain is April Marshall. Thank you so much for stepping in and serving in that capacity, April. So if you're interested in prayer, just let us know and we can create a breakout room for you and April to pray after service. And we do want to just thank you so much for your continued support of Unity in the Foothills so that we can do and continue to do all these amazing things. Please follow the link to donate via PayPal, or you can always send us a check to 1622 Torringford Street in Torrington, Connecticut. Bless you all so much. Are there any other announcements before we get started with service? Yes, Beth.
Heather, I suppose I should announce, although I don't think anybody here is a participant in the Monday Course in Miracles group, but I'm no longer leading the Monday Course in Miracles group. So that is not on the calendar any longer, at least for now.
Okay, thank you, Beth, and thank you so much for hosting that wonderful group. I know I was part of that too, and it was very, very meaningful. So thank you for your service also. Okay, if there are no other announcements, then let's get started with our service by singing together our opening song by Daniel Nahmod called More Than Enough. is more than enough in a universe that you created. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let my soul know the truth, whatever I choose to do, your infinite love will prove more than enough. There is more than enough in a universe that you created. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let the world know the truth, whatever we choose to do, your infinite love will prove more than enough, more than enough, more than enough. Oh, thank you, everyone. What a wonderful way to start off our service with that energy. And now I would like to invite our own Reverend Carolyn Swift-Jones forward to give us our opening prayer this morning. As she does so, do give her your love and your light.
Thank you so much, dear Heather. Good morning, beloved community. Let's just know that we are holding hands with each other. Let's feel that. Let's know that we are, as one beloved community, one heart, one mind. Let's breathe together as one. And as we breathe together as one, we breathe the knowing that infinite love is what we are. We are infinite love. And as we breathe together as this knowing that we are infinite love, we inhale our infinite divinity, and we gently exhale any thoughts that would keep us from knowing the fullness of what it is we truly are. And as we engage with one another in this beautiful breathing of the Christ that we are, the Christ that is this beloved community, the infinite indwelling love that we are, we remember that as infinite, endless beings, we are always endlessly capable of forgiveness because we are forgiveness. We remember that forgiveness is our true nature. We remember that we desire forgiveness with a whole and holy desire. We desire it so much until we remember that we are forgiveness. And as the forgiveness that we are, we look to our very own being and we say to ourselves, I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. And in our very true selves, we hear this forgiveness and we accept it. We say, yes, thank you, for I know I am forgiven. And now, as one heart, one mind, we say to the entire world and universe and beyond, I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And we hear the heart song of the universe coming in divine, divine, audacious echo of, yes, you are forgiven. You are heard. You are forgiven. You are forgiveness. We are forgiveness together. And as this forgiveness that we are, we set our intention to have a deeper and deeper understanding of how we constantly grow as the humans we are in the cycle of forgiveness. And we give great thanks to the divinity that we are. We say thank you for this amazing power of forgiveness, setting captives free all over our dear planet and beyond. Thank you. And so it is, and so it shall be.
Thank you so much, Reverend Carolyn, for that beautiful prayer. What a blessing. And now, as we sing our One Presence affirmation song, let's remember that this really is the cornerstone of what we believe. If we really know this, then everything else just enhances what we already know so much. This is a call and response song for those of you who are new to us. So I'm going to sing a phrase and then you will echo, and then all together we will sing the phrase in the universe and in my life. So please join me in singing our One Presence affirmation song. There is only one presence. There is only one power in the universe and in my life. In the universe and in my life. The presence is God, the one and the good. The power is God, the one and the good. In the universe and in my life. In the universe and in my life. And all together, let's say our vision and mission statements. Centered in God, we co-create a world that works for all, healing our world through prayerful living, inspired teaching, and helping others. And our prayer for unity in the foothills. We give thanks that God within us, and as our consciousness is forming our beloved spiritual community as a place of love, light, and peace for all. And now let's hold in our hearts and our minds the image of all of the beautiful young leaders around our planet right now, not just in our congregation, but in every corner of our beautiful planet. Every single one of them is empowered by the Christ that they are to give us all a very special blessing. And so I will lead them wherever they are right now, holding up their hands and saying to all of you, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. So let's now give that blessing back, each and every one of us here, wherever we are, right in this moment. Let's give that blessing back. Rub our hands together, hold them out, and say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. Oh, thank you. Thank you all so much. Our greeting song today is Spirit is Talking. I'm going to sing our greeting song and you can follow along and sing with me. And then we're going to have a greeting question if you would like. You can say hi and then answer this question in 5 sentences or less. Have you ever loved someone you didn't know personally? Okay, so let's be thinking about that as we join together in singing our greeting song, Spirit is Talking. Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, talking to me. Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, talking to me. It's talking to the children playing happily. It's talking to the captive praying to be free. It's talking to the king who's down on bended knee. And I know Spirit is talking, talking to me. Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, talking to me. Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, talking to me. It's talking to the robin in the redwood tree. It's talking to the dolphin in the deep blue sea. It's talking to the crocodile, the honeybee. And I know Spirit is talking, talking to me. Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, talking to me. Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, talking to me. It's talking about the joy that's there for us to see. It's talking about our faith and hope and charity. It's talking about a truth that lasts eternally. And I know Spirit is talking, talking to me. Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, talking to me. Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, Spirit is talking, talking to me. All right, let's see. So, have you ever loved someone you didn't know personally? Okay, well, I can start this one. I have. Every time somebody in my parent support group for those with transgender children, every time one of them posts a picture of their child as their true and authentic self, and I see how happy that beautiful child is, I just feel this wave of love come over me. And they're from all over the country and in some cases all over the world. So I do very much feel that love. So I'm going to ask in 5 sentences or less. Okay, Reverend Carolyn, how about you?
Okay, in 5 sentences or less. Yes, many times. I love peacemakers that I have never met. There are many to mention. Desmond Tutu. I love Desmond Tutu. I have never met him. I am complete. 5 sentences or less.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reverend Carolyn. Good morning, April Marshall. How about you? Have you ever loved somebody you didn't know personally?
Yes, I love a lot of people who I find out. Well, yes, there, done.
Yes, thank you so much, April. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, Reverend Vi. How about you?
Oh yes, a lot of people, and one that played a fiddle, and it was beautiful, and she sings beautiful, and my heart just went out and loved her.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Reverend Vi. Good morning, Russell. I saw your message in the chat. So good morning to you and welcome, welcome. Weechi says in the chat, yes. Oh, I just lost it. I lost the chat box. There it is. Yes, especially children all over the planet. Yes, thank you. And good morning to you, Reverend Weechi. Beth Nyrick, how about you?
Well, mine is very similar to yours, Heather. Yes to a lot of them, but in 5 sentences, then less or less. When I see children on the television who are, I don't know, suffering or singing or child prodigies, whatever, my heart just opens to them.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Beth. Good morning, Barbara Schaefer.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I love many people who I have met via Zoom and never met in person, and they are beautiful souls.
Yes, they are. See, that is one very awesome thing about this whole thing with Zoom and social media. Yes, indeed. Good morning, Cecilia.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I have. I love the children who were on the Shriners commercial, Shriners Hospital commercial, and the ones on the St. Jude Hospital commercial. They need a lot of love.
Yes, they do. And I know that we all can give that. It's so amazing. Thank you. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. The first thing that came to mind was people that express their talents so freely, and people that, like famous people, I love them without knowing them. And like 2 that come to mind or 3 that come to mind, Maya Angelou, Katharine Hepburn, and our recently departed Betty White.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, I love her too. Thank you so much, Lisa. Good morning, Jan.
Good morning, everyone. I have always loved many people that I thought I didn't know, but then one day I realized, yes, I do know them because we are all connected. And so that love just even grew.
Oh, thank you. Amen. Thank you, Jan. That is beautiful. Good morning to you, Ellie and Rob.
Sure. Yes. I've had a number of teachers, I would say, that I have really loved and just couldn't wait to be in their classes and really inspired.
And for me, love all the people engaged in helping to make our Earth a healthier environment for all of us. So yes, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you both so much. Good morning, Pat Moore.
Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell, who was born in the 1800s in England, who was the first woman to ever to receive a medical degree. Never met her, but she was my childhood inspiration and aspiration, and told me I could be anything.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. Good morning, Susan Brown.
This has got me a little teary, which is surprising me. With the recent passing of 3 hugely impactful people. Desmond Tutu, Betty White, and Sidney Poitier. All three of them really impacted me greatly, and I feel their loss.
Oh, thank you so much, Susan. Yes, beautiful, beautiful people. Good morning, Jean Tom.
Oh, good morning. Boy, I'm just listening and feel like an echo so much. I've lost a couple sentences. People who really open themselves to their hearts and speak their truth. I always love people who are just honest. Yeah.
Oh, amen. Thank you. Thank you, Jean. Good morning. Mariana's here. Good morning.
Okay. Besides everybody that everyone's mentioned, I had somebody and then somebody else mentioned them. And besides Jesus, of course, I'm going to say I love all the healthcare workers who have taken extra shifts, who are working round the clock, who are now doing mandated overnight shifts and things like that to create to balance the shortage. I love them and thank them with all my heart.
Oh my goodness, I feel that so much. Thank you, Mariana. Good morning, Josie.
Good morning, everybody. All my beautiful Unity family. I love you all. And but you don't count because I know you all. So what's that? 3 sentences? Anyway. There's so many young people on Facebook that are very creative musically, whatever. It really brings a joy to my daily life. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you, Joe. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning. Yeah, I would have to echo what everybody said. I agree with every one of your comments. And I'd also like to add that I love animals too.
Oh, yes. They are so beautiful. And we get all of them on Facebook and Zoom sometimes even too. Isn't that wonderful?
Exactly.
Thank you all so much for that wonderful share. It's good to hear and see and know that we just are love. Isn't that awesome? And now I would like to invite Josie forward again to read us our absolute word for today. So if you would just give him your love and your light as he comes forward. Thank you so much, Joe.
Yes, good morning again. Today, Sunday, January 9th, 2022. The absolute word is guidance. I engage my divine wisdom. I create my unique spiritual path. Tending to my spiritual life keeps me attentive to the whispers of my heart and in tune with my inner guidance. My inner guidance relies on the powers of wisdom, understanding, and will. I am grateful for those moments when I rely upon my spiritual intuition to discern my path forward. Sometimes my inner guidance feels far away and hard to assess because of my chattering mind. At those times, I seek the assistance of trusted friends, advisors, and the wise counsel of my minister or spiritual counselor. They pray with me, listen with empathy, and provide support until I find my innate wisdom and inner guidance. Then they share my joy of success. I am grateful for those who walk the path alongside me. I engage my divine wisdom. I create my unique spiritual path.
Beautifully read. Thank you so much, Joe, for reading that. And let's take those words into our congregational hymn, a beautiful song called Blessings Here I See. Here and now, I am free. I go inside peacefully. Where I look, let there be blessings here for me. Blessings here I see. Breathe in and out, soft and slow. At this time, I let go. Where I look, let there be blessings here for me. Blessings here I see. All on a journey on our way, different paths here today. Where I look, let there be blessings here for me. Blessings here I see. Blessings here for me. Blessings here I see. Thank you all. And now we are so blessed to have Jean Tom read us our scripture this morning. As she comes forward, do give her your love and your light. Thank you, Jean.
Thank you. Our first reading is from the Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 18, verses 21 and 22. Then Peter came to him and asked, Lord, how often should I forgive someone who sins against me? 7 times? No, not 7 times, Jesus replied, but 70 times 7. Our second reading is a quote belonging to the theologian Louis B. Smedes. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you.
Thank you so much for reading those so beautifully, Jean. And we are so blessed to have our own Reverend Carolyn Swift-Jones bring us our message today, part 1 in a lesson series on love entitled How Many Times? Thank you, Reverend Carolyn.
Thank you, Heather, and good morning, everybody. As most of you know, I spend a great deal of my time serving as a medium. And a lot of people that come to me are grieving the loss of a loved one, and they've come because they want to be assured that life is ongoing. But there are other people that come to me, people on the other side of the veil, that come to meet the people that are in the physical. And they don't come because they want to be reassured that life is ongoing. They know that. They're experiencing that. They come, many of them, because they want to know that forgiveness is ongoing. And so, what I will be privy to is an incredible conversation, a really extraordinary conversation, many conversations between people on this side of the veil and people on the other side of the veil. And all these conversations are about forgiveness. Because once it becomes clear that life is ongoing, that doesn't need to be demonstrated anymore. But we constantly, so it seems, need to demonstrate to one another that forgiveness is ongoing. And that desire for forgiveness can be so clearly felt. Do you forgive me? Yes, I do. Do you forgive me? Yes, I do. Oh, thank God. Of course, we know that what is being thanked is that inner divinity. But forgiveness, people want forgiveness. I was working with a beautiful woman just a couple weeks ago who had been caring for her mother, her elderly mother, and then her elderly mother made her transition. And she had booked a session with me, I think first and foremost to know, is my mom still there? Well, her mom definitely was there. But when her mom came in, all her mom wanted to say was, ask her if she forgives me. Why does my mother need forgiveness? Isn't it me? Aren't I the one that needs forgiveness? Both parties really felt that they needed forgiveness, and both parties were able to engage once again in a beautiful cycle of forgiveness that goes on and on and on. When you feel this urge for forgiveness as a practicing medium, you can feel it. It's like a huge desire. It's pulling at the ethers. It's unmistakable, and it brings loved ones together from both sides of the veil, just as it does here on the earth plane. And sometimes that desire that's in the ethers, that desire for forgiveness is so strong. It feels like someone is gasping for it, the way that we might gasp for air if we had been stuck underwater for just too long. And we might remember that story that is told of the mystic teacher in India who taught by holding his students underwater until their lungs were about to burst. And then when the teacher finally let the student up, the teacher would say, "What do you want more than anything?" And the student would say, "Air, I want air." And the teacher would say, "When you want God as much as you want air, that desire will be fulfilled." The desire for forgiveness is really a desire for our own divinity, isn't it? It's for our own divinity to breathe freely as us, with us, in us. And if we desire forgiveness enough, if it's something that we really, really want with all of our being, we're going to experience it. We will experience it. We're going to experience it in a way that is as free as breathing. So when I say I've been party to a lot of these conversations, I'm not exaggerating. Almost every single conversation between people who are on different sides of the veil centers on this issue of, do you forgive me? Am I forgiven? And it goes both ways. And over time, I've come to see that forgiveness is never a one and done. You're never done with forgiveness. Forgiveness is a cycle. It's like the cycle of the seasons. It's like any pattern that we notice here on earth. It's a cycle, and it repeats, and it's continuous. Do you forgive me? Yes, I do. Do you forgive me? Yes, I do. It continues. No matter what dimension we're vibrating in, that cycle of forgiveness is ongoing. So you may notice that in the scripture that Jean read to us so beautifully, Peter is trying very hard to make forgiveness not just a one and done, but he's trying to make it a 7 and done. Like if I do it 7 times, I'm done, right? That's enough, right? Well, you kind of know where he's coming from. 7 is the number of completion on the earth plane. But 7 is also the number of a cycle that is completed so that a new one can start. Right? 7 days of the week, and here we are back at Monday. 7 years of harvesting a field. Now that one goes follow, so we can go to a new field. 7 years, so the scientists tell us, we have all brand new cellular structures so that we can begin our life anew. So if you open your ears, you can hear what Peter's really asking. He's asking if there's an end to the cycle of forgiveness. He wants to know that at some point he's going to be done with his spiritual process. But the brilliant, brilliant teacher, Jesus, took that number 7 and he turned it around so that it represented not just earth completion, but the unlimited nature of the divine. A cycle that is ongoing throughout all dimensions, seen and unseen, not just 7 times, but 70 times 7. So 70 times 7 is 490, and Jesus knew exactly what he was doing. He knew he was creating a number so large that it would be ridiculous to start counting. Okay, I've forgiven you once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 500 times, 6. Oh, now it's 490 times. Okay, done. If you've forgiven somebody 490 times, you're not going to forgive them that 491st time. It doesn't make any sense. We can't put a number on forgiveness, in other words, because once again, forgiveness is unlimited. It is a cycle. But unlike some cycles that can make us feel really stuck in an endless wheel of karma or cause and effect, it's a cycle that continuously frees us to be more and more of what we really are, divine. So karma, oh boy. That's a word that calls to be unpacked. Can we unpack that word? Let's bring some loving skepticism to that word, okay? Because if we're not clear about what we're talking about when we say good karma or bad karma, we could find ourselves in Peter's shoes, looking for a way out of a cycle or a way out of being in process. And Jesus didn't teach karma. He was pretty clear. He was saying, no, it used to be eye for eye, tooth for tooth. That's karma. You do this, you get that. That's karma. He wasn't teaching that. He taught the law of love, the endless cycle of the law of love, which implies in it an endless desire for all that's good, for all that's peace, for all that's light, for all that's harmony, for all that is the interconnected similitude, wow, that's a big phrase, that binds all together in perfect cohesion. Want me to say that one again? The interconnected similitude that binds all together in perfect cohesion. Love, endless love, brings with it a desire to sail beyond the limiting, small, tiny cycle of karma. Love desires so much more than that little area, that tiny little range of cause and effect. It wants so much more than reward and punishment. It's not interested in that. Love wants to expand. Love desires love. So it might be that we're like Peter and hoping that if we stay in a karmic cycle long enough, we'll be free. Like, so if I live enough lifetimes here on planet Earth, will I finally be free? Have you heard yourself saying that? I'm just asking you to look at it if you had. Because, you know, in our humanity, that might make sense, but as the endless divinity that we are, does that make sense to even think that there could be a time when we would stop learning and stop growing and stop evolving and stop forgiving? So there's no need to answer the question right now. I want you to let those questions sit in you and make you restless about your eternal nature. I want to disturb you with those questions in a wonderful way, a way that enlists in you a divine curiosity about what it means not just to be fully human, but fully divine. You see, another trap with thinking that there's an end to the process, or that, like Peter, we could say, okay, I'm done. My spiritual progress is done. Another trap in that is that we will believe in hierarchy. And hierarchy can destroy a spiritual community. It can destroy community. That belief that there are some people who have it and some people who don't. That belief that there are some people who are enlightened and some people who are not, or maybe they're just not at the same page that we are. That phrase, when you're as enlightened as I am, oh, that is a death knell for a spiritual community. I hope we never hear it here. Because the truth is, we're all in it together. We're all cycling in this cycle of love and forgiveness together. No one's ahead, no one's behind. We do it together. So what's love got to do with it, right? What's love got to do with forgiveness? You know, we often say, I love myself and therefore I forgive myself, or I love you and therefore I forgive you. But what does that mean? What does that mean when we bring love and forgiveness together? What's their relationship to each other? So if you had the advantage, as many of us did, of sitting in Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck's 12 Power class, you would have heard a lot about the power of love. And I know for many of us, it was an eye-opener to hear that the power of love is so much more than a romantic or sentimental notion. But the power of love is fundamentally the power of desire. It is that power of desire that we use to attract ourselves to one another, and then it becomes loving. It is the power of desire that we use to attract ourselves to things and situations. And it is the power of desire that we use to attract ourselves to divine ideas, such as forgiveness. And so when we employ love and use it, and use love as desire, when we do that from our humanness, we're attracting to ourselves that which we desire in the material world. I desire chocolate. Lo and behold, I attracted myself to chocolate. Lo and behold, a lot of you gave me a lot of chocolate this Christmas. So love is that power to harmonize, unify, and attract. But there's another way to use this desire, this love, and let's think of them as the same. When we use desire/love from our divinity, we're using it unconditionally, not just to get what I want, but to desire a loving consciousness in which there is no wanting. There's only giving. Here's where forgiveness comes in. We use our desire for peace to attract ourselves to the divine idea of peace, we then use that divine idea of peace to give peace. We use our desire for forgiveness to attract ourselves to the divine idea of forgiveness, and then we use that endless divine idea of forgiveness to give it to ourselves, to one another. So what would happen if, when we forgive someone, what would happen if we brought it into our consciousness that we're not going to forgive you just once, and I'm not going to forgive you just 7 times. I'm going to forgive you 7 times 70. Oh, wait, actually, I'm going to go more than that. I think I'm going to forgive you endlessly. What does that feel like when we bring that into the equation? What about when we think about forgiving ourselves? I'm not just going to forgive myself once for that stupid thing I said, but why don't I forgive myself endlessly for all the stupid things I say? Why don't I do that? What happens when we think of forgiveness as something that is endless? Because, you know, I believe that when we forgive, we're remembering what is true, that we're all unlimited, all endlessly evolving beings. When we forgive, we're remembering our unified consciousness. We're remembering that no one has arrived and no one is left behind. There are no spiritually advanced people, and there are no spiritual beginners. We're in it together. We are. You can feel that in our hearts. When we forgive, we see ourselves and we see each other very clearly as the unlimited beings that we are. We see, oh, I see you. I see the Christ you are. I see that you are ready once again to go to the desert and face a belief in separation that you may have so that you can set yourself and everybody else free. And we say it to ourselves, oh, I see you, Heather Christ. I see you, Reverend Violet Christ. I see you, Russell Christ. We say this to ourselves. I see myself, Christ. I am ready to go into the desert and once again face my belief in separation so that I can set myself and everyone else free. I'm just going back into the desert because it's a cycle and it's ongoing. One time when I was in prayer, the master teacher Yeshua suddenly came. And he spoke to me kind of fiercely about how I had pigeonholed myself into an idea of evolution. I said I had been pretty prideful, and I had said to him, I've evolved, like I was done. And he said, I'm evolving too. Okay. That's from the master teacher. I'm evolving too. So if we think of forgiveness in terms of setting a prisoner free and then discovering that the prisoner is us, for me, I don't ever want to be done with that process. I want to be setting myself free continuously. Do you? Do you want to be setting yourself free continuously? Let me see. What do you? Okay, cool. We're on the same page. Because that's a horse of a different color, isn't it? That's not a 1 and done or a 7 and done. So we can change our thinking about forgiveness. And as we change it and think of it as an unlimited, beautiful, endless cycle of returning ourselves and each other to the truth of our being, and if we desire it as deeply as we might desire it if we were parched in the desert and wanted water, or desire it as deeply as if we wanted a breath of fresh air when we couldn't breathe, if we desired it like that, if we desired it and loved the process of forgiveness as much as we love chocolate or as much as we love a presidential candidate, if we loved it that way, so much beyond loving chocolate, of course, but like loving air, if we loved it so much that way, we would attract it to ourselves, and then we would be giving it to ourselves and everyone, everywhere we go. So I started off sharing about what I've learned in my mediumship, and that is that we're never done forgiving each other or blessing each other. And I do believe that. I don't believe we're ever done blessing each other with forgiveness, and I don't think we're ever done blessing ourselves with forgiveness. If we're evolving, and we are, then we're always going to be in that process of forgiving ourselves and everyone and everything. So what does forgiveness look like when we've decided we don't need to come back to Earth School anymore? I can hear some of you going, so what's it going to look like? Well, I'm not sure. I don't know exactly, but it might be as simple as giving the entire universe a clear idea of the beautiful divinity it is. It might be as simple as saying to the entire universe, okay, be reborn now. That's what forgiveness might look like for us at some point when we no longer are students in Earth School. But it's better if we start right where we are. If we know that forgiveness is that ability to see ourselves and each other clearly, I'm going to ask you right now, what is it that you long to have clarity about in yourself? Think about that for a moment. What is it that you long to have clarity about in yourself? And just hold that thought. What is it that you long to have clarity about in someone else? And what is it that you long, deeply long for others to have clarity about you? Let's start the forgiveness cycle right now. Let's move into meditation right now, shall we? Knowing that our heart centers are so soft and open and willing. We are aware right now that we are using the power of desire to see ourselves clearly. We desire a clear vision of what we are. We desire this clear vision so much that we cannot think of anything else. We have been starving for this clear vision of what we really are. We desire it. And we use this power right now to attract to ourselves the divine idea of what we really are. And this is called forgiveness. And now we take this moment to think of anybody in our lives that we may believe we have not yet forgiven. And use our power of desire to see them clearly. I desire to see you clearly. I desire it so much It's like a hunger, it's a thirst in me. I desire to see your fullness, your wholeness, your clarity. And we know that we are using this power of love, power of desire to attract to ourselves right now the divine idea of the person that we haven't yet seen. And now, using that divine idea, we can say, I see you. And this is forgiveness. And you are forgiveness. And we are forgiveness. Namaste.
Thank you so much for that beautiful message and meditation, Reverend Carolyn. And I would just invite everybody, before we decide how we want to give back to our community with our time, our talent, our treasure, I would just invite everybody to decide to give back to ourselves and to our world by being willing to take this experience in meditation with the cycle of forgiveness. Be willing to take that with us when we leave this space, wherever we go. And then if you would take your time, your talent, your treasure, whatever it is that you're going to give, hold it up to your heart chakra and say along with me, divine love flowing as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And let's just take a minute to hold the image of our beautiful planet, to know that it is wrapped in the arms of unconditional love. Love and peace that does not know any human boundaries. Love and peace that reaches absolutely every space on our beautiful planet, especially those places where love and peace appears not to be. We know that in our oneness, there is no place that it cannot be. And we know that in our oneness and our divinity, that all of our prayers, the ones in our hearts, the ones in our minds, spoken or unspoken, every single one is heard and answered perfectly. Divine order is always, always at work, as well as unconditional love and forgiveness. And we see our offerings, our time, our talent, our treasure. We know that these are just symbols of the abundance that is infinite and always accessible. We see it spreading out through our community, through our city, our state, our country, our whole entire world, even out into the entire universe, being guided perfectly to every single place that it needs to be right now, growing and expanding everywhere it goes. And for all of this, we are so deeply grateful, and we say thank you, thank you, thank you, God, and amen. So now let's sing our closing song, our peace song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. And as we do so, just know that because there are no barriers of time and space, that we are in oneness, holding our hands together and singing this beautiful song all together. Let there be peace on earth. for protection all together. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, everyone.